Hi everyone, welcome to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast, your daily audio summary of the latest news reported in the Ukrainian media. My name is Artem, and here is the news. For 536 days, Ukraine defends itself against the forces of the Russian invasion. As a result of multiple attacks on Kherson Oblast on Sunday, 7 people were killed and 13 injured. Monday was declared a day of mourning in the region, reports Ukrinform. President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky informed in his evening video address that at 4 a.m. the village of Veletenske was shelled. A house caught fire, a man was wounded. At 9 a.m. the Russian forces attacked the village of Shiroka Balka, killing 5 people. Among them was a baby girl, 22 days old. Her brother, who was only 12 years old, was taken to the hospital, but unfortunately medics could not save him. He died from severe wounds. The children's mother, 39 years old, died too. Around the same time, the village of Stanislav was shelled. 2 people were wounded, 2 were killed. The men were 71 years old and 57 years old. Defense Minister Oleksiy Reznikov said that during the counteroffensive, the Ukrainian military sometimes encounters as much as 5 Russian mines per square meter of territory, reports Radio Liberty. In a comment to The Guardian, Reznikov said that today Ukraine is the most heavily mined country in the world. Hundreds of kilometers of minefields, millions of explosive devices. He stressed that Russian minefields are a serious obstacle for Ukrainian troops. But Ukraine has skilled deminers and modern equipment, even though they are extremely insufficient for the front that stretches hundreds of kilometers in the east and south of Ukraine. Sergei Ryzhenko, the chief doctor at Mechnikov Hospital in Dnipro, where many of the most seriously wounded are being treated, said he was seeing 50 to 100 soldiers a day, with mines the second most common cause of injury after artillery. We would really appreciate if you could recommend us to your friends and family, as well as share information on social media. This way more people would learn about the podcast and truth about Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The Ministry of Defense of Russia informed that a Russian ship opened warning fire on the Sukru Okan, a bulk carrier which was heading for the port of Izmail in Odessa Oblast, Ukraine, under the flag of Palau, reports Ukrainska Pravda. The Russians complained that the vessel had supposedly ignored some demands to stop for an inspection to check for prohibited cargo. The Russians apparently fired warning shots and sent a Ka-29 combat helicopter with a group of troops on board. The troops landed on the vessel and conducted a so-called inspection. After that, the Sukru Okan continued on its route to Izmail. At the same time, Ukraine cannot confirm this statement but called the very fact of such speculations a gross violation of international law by Russia. Ukrainian Infrastructure Minister Alexander Kubrakov said that such actions of the Russian Federation are a disregard for the principles of freedom of navigation enshrined in the UN Convention. He noted that now the bulk carrier is moving in the direction of Romania. Kubrakov emphasized that in order to avoid provocations, Ukraine recommends the captains of vessels heading to from Ukrainian ports to move vessels as close as possible to the coasts of the northwestern part of the Black Sea, through the territorial waters of Turkey, Bulgaria, and Romania. Thank you for listening to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast. We are a commercial initiative of just 2 people and we need your help to grow. Share information about the podcast, rate us in the app, subscribe to our Patreon. With your support, we are getting better. We call on you to demand from governments of your countries to impose the toughest sanctions possible on Russia and its citizens to stop their invasion of Ukraine.